I was gonna schedule it for later, but let's go ahead and get into it. Come on in, come on in. Get this phone on the tripod. Quick video for the sun goes down about it, the clown. Concept of cosmic chaos and evil in the world. All right. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Really quick. So, in regards to Lucifer falling from heaven, right? The concept of it, the clown, and it's supposedly being a like a meteor falling from the sky, but the entity was inside of whatever capsule it was sent to Earth in. It was released on the Earth, and supposed to have been bound to a specific area. Like we know of Azazel, he is supposed to reside in Dudael, a hole in the desert. So we're going to talk about the novel, then we're going to go deeper into the concept as far as it relates to the Native Americans and this new series that they just brought out this year. So it is a 1986 horror novel by American author Stephen King. This is his 22nd book and his 17th novel written under his own name. Remember that numbers, names, locations, all of these things have meanings. So 22, we know that the Hebrew alphabet has 22 letters in it. The 22 Prince King. 22 is a very significant number to myself. Also, the room 217 that they didn't want Danny to go into in The Shining. All of this stuff goes together. So, in relation to the Bible is why I'm reading these different things for my people who have been put to sleep by the sleepers. So you got Freddy Krueger, you got it, you have all these sleep demons or mind-bending demons or technology. So the story follows 7 children as they are terrorized by an evil entity called it, which exploits the fears of its victims to disguise itself while hunting its prey. It is a monstrous, shape-shifting predator that primarily appears in the form of Pennywise, the dancing clown, to attract its preferred prey of young children. The story is told through a non-linear narrative alternating between 2 time periods. It chronicles the Losers Club, a group of 7 outcast children in the fictional town of Derry. Now, this also is very significant to me because uh, the person that I'm with, their given name definitely correlates with this story. Also, in Jeepers Creepers, the guy's name was Derry, I believe. Something like that. Derry, Danny, something like that. The story is told, let's see, So the fictional town of Derry, Maine during the late 1950s. The losers discover they are being hunted by an ancient trans-dimensional evil that awakens every 27 years to feed on the town's children. So this also goes into the stories of the Israelites or the people surrounding the Israelites that were sacrificing their children to devils. Okay, so after a battle with the creature, they make a blood oath to return to Derry if it ever resurfaces. 27 years later, the killings resume, and the now adult losers, who have largely forgotten the traumatic events of their childhood, must return to their town home to confront the monster one last time. And this is a part that I don't remember. Or maybe it was in the book, which is why I don't remember it. But it says the book explores themes of memory, childhood, trauma, the loss of innocence, and the power of unity and belief. Upon release, it became the best selling hardcover fiction book in the United States for 1986 and won the British Fantasy Award in 1987. The novel was largely acclaimed for its epic scope, and critical discussion surrounded its length, graphic violence, and a sexually explicit scene involving the child protagonist. The character of Pennywise has become one of the most iconic villains in popular culture, and the novel's success has led to multiple adaptations, including the 1990 television miniseries It. Never saw that either. A two-part film adaptation, It in 2017 and It Chapter 2 2019, and the current 2025 television series It Welcome to Derry. The background. In 1978, King and his family lived in Boulder, Colorado. One evening, King ventured alone to pick up his car from the repair shop and came across an old wooden bridge, humped out and oddly quaint. Walking along the bridge caused King to recall the story of three Billy Goats Gruff. If I'm not mistaken, um, my husband says that he played the character of Billy Goat Gruff. If I'm not, I gotta ask him again. He played some type of Billy Goat in a play at school. How you doing, Joanna? Okay, so the story of three Billy Goats Gruff and the idea of transplanting the tale's scenario into a real life context, which interested him. King was further inspired by a line by Marion Moore, imaginary gardens with real toads in them, which in his mind came out as real trolls in imaginary gardens. My husband also likes to call himself the troll of trolls. So, King returned to the concept 2 years later and gradually accumulated ideas and thoughts, particularly the concept of weaving the narratives of children and the adults they become. King began writing it in 1980 and finished the book 5 years later. Just so happens to be the year I was born. Um, King found influence in the mythology and history surrounding the construction of the sewer system in Bangor, Maine. Now, I have touched on the topic of the sewer systems, the canals, garbage and waste, and how they reversed the water systems in the US, which causes waste, which causes disease, and all those types of things. So basically, disrupting nature within itself, because the water is going to go where it's supposed to go. not where man wants it to go. So, the plot. The novel is told through narratives alternating between two time periods and largely in the third person omniscient mode. 1957 through 1958. During a rainstorm in Derry, Maine, a 6-year-old boy named George Denbrough sails a paper boat along the rainy streets before it washes down into a storm drain. And also, if you are familiar with biblical history, you should be familiar with the storm god, Baal. So, looking in the drain, Georgie encounters a clown who introduces himself as Pennywise, the dancing clown. Georgie, despite knowing he should not talk to strangers, is enticed by Pennywise to reach into the drain and retrieve his boat. It then rips his arm off and Georgie dies. The following June, an overweight 11-year-old boy named Ben Hanscom is harassed by a bully named Henry Bowers and his gang on the last day of school, escaping into the marshy wasteland known as the Barrens. Wastelands, barren lands. Very, very interesting. There, Ben befriends an asthmatic hypochondriac named Eddie Cashbrack and stuttering Bill Denbrough, Georgie's elder brother. The three boys later befriend fellow misfits Richie Tozier, Stanley Stan Uris, and Beverly Marsh, and refer to themselves as the Losers Club. As the summer draws on, the losers each encounter Pennywise in terrifying manifestations. Try again tomorrow. All right, so these terrifying manifestations as a mummy on a frozen canal to Ben, again with the canals. I am the Bigfoot, actually. So, um, a mummy on a frozen canal to Ben, a fountain of blood that only children can see from Beverly Sink, a rotting leper to Eddie, a drowned corpses to Stan, and a frightening phantom of Georgie to Bill. Meanwhile, the increasingly unhinged and sadistic Bowers begins focusing his attention on his African American neighbor, Mike Hanlon, and his father. Bowers kills Mike's dog and chases the terrified boy into the Barrens, where he joins the losers in driving Bowers' gang off in a rat fight, leaving a humiliated Bowers promising revenge. So again, this is now getting into possession. So this entity is possessing those who can be possessed. Mike becomes a member of the Losers Club after revealing his own encounter with Pennywise in the form of a carnivorous bird. From Mike's historical scrapbook, the losers realize that it is an ancient monster with a firm grip on the town. Following further encounters, the losers construct a makeshift smoke hole that Richie and Mike use to hallucinate. Its origins as an ancient extraterrestrial who came to Earth, beginning a cycle of hunting for 1 year, followed by a 27-year-long hibernation. Eddie is hospitalized by Bowers, and several of his friends and Beverly witnesses one of the bullies, Patrick Hocksetter, consumed by it in the form of a mass of flying leeches. The losers discover a message from it written in Patrick's blood, warning them that it will kill them if they interfere. In the hope that Silver Dollar and the losers enter an abandoned house where Eddie, Bill, and Richie had previously encountered it to attempt to kill it, They manage to wound it with the silver while it is in the form of a werewolf. Deeming the losers a threat, it manipulates Bowers into murdering his abusive father, then chasing the losers into the sewers to kill them, where his accompanying fellow bullies, Victor or Vic Chris and Reginald Belch Huggins, are both killed by it. Bowers is lost in the sewers. Hi, you are watching the Wilderness Chronicles. I am your maestro, ChayaFyah, bringing you the Symphony of Destruction. Okay? All right. I am reading about the entity, it, the clown. It as the cosmic chaos or evil in the world. I am ancient. Very, very ancient, darling. So yes, let us continue. In the sewers, Bill performs the ritual of Chud, which we will go over later, in an attempt to face it in the macroverse. We will also cover what the macroverse is. Okay, who is that coming in? How you doing, everybody? What do you say? What is what? I am Mary Magdalene. Nice to meet you all. The female Messiah. The female Christ. You said, where is it? It's supposedly it's an imaginary place in Maine, but we are going to get into the origins of why they chose such a location. Okay, so what we're doing is locating Satan. Okay, so the Bible tells you that Satan is bound in a specific location. We go into the books that were removed, the location gets a bit more specific. So we are going to pinpoint on the map exactly where the Lord of Filth resides. Yes, so stay cool in the chat before you get removed to the abyss with your father. Okay? Either you come here to ascend or descend, your choice. Up or down, left or right. Okay? Ronald, he's on point like a pyramid. You know, the mother of all living. Because I'm in the wilderness, like the Bible tells you. If you're not from the tribes, you wouldn't understand. Okay? It's an Aboriginal thing. Pocahontas out here, okay? Okay? All right. You have a great day as well. Good evening. This ain't no funeral home. This ain't the mortuary neither. I am God. You see me, you see God. I don't believe in God. I know God. Because I am God. All right? Grayson, Gray is my daddy last name, huh? Huh? Might be an alien, huh? Nah, I don't like people praying for me, darling. I don't know you. You can say a kind word, but I don't need people praying for me and they don't got themselves together. So I don't know you. You ain't got to pray for me. Just have love in your heart. True love. That's all you got to do. Send out love to the universe, and that's prayer enough, okay? All right. So back to the story of it. So in the sewers, Bill performs the ritual of Chud in an attempt to face it in the macroverse, the alternate universe where it is from. Now we also have, what is it called? Riverdale, which is also an alternate universe, which is also one of the names of the cities that I used to live in. which I just so happened to manifest the church that I wanted to go in the exact location, not even 5 minutes away from where I stayed at the time. Okay, so you pay attention to everything surrounding you. The signs are there, okay? All right. So, there he meets the monster's antithesis, the Maturin. All these words we're going to go over. An ancient turtle that created the universe. And we all know that the Americas is called Turtle Island, okay? Bill learns that it can only be defeated during a battle of wills, in which he emerges victorious. In doing so, he sees its true form and its place of origin, the deadlights. And that's what we're really going to get into, these deadlights, okay? So after the battle, not knowing if they killed it or not, the losers get lost in the sewers. Again, like the Ninja Turtles, right? To try and regain a sense of direction. Beverly has sexual, this is the part I was talking about. Beverly has sexual intercourse with each of the boys to bring unity back to the group. So here now we have sexual immorality. So orgies, so to speak. And we know this is what they do in secret societies and whatnot, in order to try to conjure up spirits or remove them, whatever, however they do it. Not my business. No, my channel, you literally have to click, is this for kids? And it says no. So if you're a child, then you must have changed your age on YouTube. Try again. This is not for kids. See, and this is demons. These are entities. And you gonna get on up out of here. Okay? Try again tomorrow. Then you try again tomorrow. If you get it right, then, I might let you stay. If not, you go straight to the abyss. Y'all hit that like button. It's 74 people in here. Big GD, but goddamn. Yeah, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Right, hit the like button. It's free. It's free. Hit the like button or keep it moving. Okay, so once they are safely out, the losers swear a blood oath. Again, with the blood oath, things that Israelites do not do. We do not play with blood. Blood is sacred. Blood is the life. Okay? So they swore a blood oath to return to Derry should the threat resurface. Bowers, having lost his sanity by the time he escaped the sewers into a nearby river, is institutionalized after being blamed for the town's child murders. So, again, with madness, we can see how the elites, try to use their MK Ultra and things of that nature to try to get into your head and make you do things you otherwise would not have, So 1984 through 1985. In July 1984, 3 youths brutally attack a young gay man named Adrian Mellon and throw him off a bridge, where Adrian's partner and one of the attackers both see a mysterious clown. Adrian is found dead and mutilated, and the teens are arrested and charged with his murder. When a string of violent child killings begins in Derry again, Mike Hanlon, who is now the town's librarian, calls up the 6 former members of the Losers Club to remind them of their childhood promise to return if the killings start again. Bill is now a successful horror writer living with his actress wife, Audra. Beverly is a fashion designer married to an abusive man named Tom Rogan. Eddie runs a limousine rental company and has married a codependent woman similar to his hypochondriac mother. Richie Tozier is a disc jockey. Ben Hanscom has lost weight and is a successful but single and lonely architect. And Stan Uris is a wealthy accountant. Prior to Mike's phone calls, all of the losers had completely forgotten about each other and the trauma of their childhood, burying the horror of their encounters with it. All of the losers agree to return to Derry except for Stan, who kills himself in terror of facing it again. The losers meet for lunch, where Mike reminds them that the creature awakens roughly every 27 years for 12 to 16 months at a time, feeding on children before going into slumber again. The group decides to kill it once and for all. At Mike's suggestion, each person explores different parts of Derry to help restore their memories. While exploring, Eddie, Richie, Beverly, and Ben are faced with manifestations of it. Eddie as Belch Huggins and childhood friends in leprous and zombified forms, Richie as Paul Bunyan as a Paul Bunyan statue, Beverly as the witch from Hansel and Gretel in her childhood home, and Ben as Dracula in the Derry Library. Bill finds his childhood bicycle, Silver, and brings it to Mike's. In the meantime, Audra, who is worried about Bill, travels to Derry. Beverly's husband arrives as well, intending to kill Beverly, who has finally vanquished his power over her, and Henry Bowers escapes from the mental asylum with help from it. What are you doing? Henry confronts Mike at the library, but Mike escapes, seriously injured. It instructs Henry to kill the rest of the losers, but Henry is killed while attacking Eddie. It then appears to Tom and orders him to capture Audra, bringing Audra to its lair, where Audra becomes catatonic, and Tom, seeing it in its true form, collapses with shock. Bill, Ben, Beverly, Richie, and Eddie learn that Mike is near death and realize they are being forced into another confrontation with it. They descend into the sewers and use their strength as a group to send energy to a hospitalized Mike, who fights off a nurse that is under the control of it. They reach its lair, and the clown transforms into its true form, a giant mutated spider-like creature. Bill and Richie enter its mind through the ritual of Chud, but they get lost in it. Eddie injures it by spraying his asthma medication down its throat, but it bites off Eddie's arm, killing him. It runs away to tend to its injuries, but Bill, Richie, and Ben chase after and find that it has laid eggs. Ben stays behind to destroy the eggs while Bill and Richie head toward their final confrontation with it. Bill surprises and attacks it before managing to wound its heart. The spider attempts to bargain with the group, but the losers collectively beat, stomp, and dismember it, destroying it. The group meets up to head out of its lair, and although they try to bring Audra and Eddie's bodies with them, they are forced to leave Eddie behind. They realize that the scars on their hands from their blood pact have disappeared, indicating that their ordeal is finally over. At the same time, the worst storm in Maine's history sweeps through Derry, and the downtown area collapses. Mike concludes that Derry is dying. The losers return home and gradually begin to forget about it, Derry, and each other all over again. Mike's memory of the events of that summer also begins to fade, as well as any of the records he had written down previously, much to his relief, and he considers starting a new life elsewhere. Ben and Beverly leave together and become a couple, and Richie returns to California. Bill is the last to leave Derry. Before he goes, he takes Audra, still catatonic, for a ride on Silver, which awakens her from the catatonia, and they share a kiss. It thematically focuses on the loss of childhood innocence. and questions the difference between necessity and free will. Grady Hendrix of Tor.com described the book as being about the fact that some doors only open one way, and that while there's an exit out of childhood named sex, there's no door leading the other way that turns into children. Yes, summoning demons to destroy them. Yes, I am. Are you ready to go to the abyss? Are you ready to go to the abyss, Stella? You say the light is racist? Well, I am the dark mother. So let's get finished. Let's get finished. I am the darkness and I am the light. Here's the light. Here's the darkness. Oh, I left my other device back at the cabin. Hello, everybody coming in. Oh, your name is Black Screen. How you doing? See, you see the energy. It's the energy. Okay, so hurry up before I lose all of the lights. You're just coming in. If you see the title, we're talking about it and cosmic chaos and evil. Okay, so Christopher Lehman Haupt of the New York Times noted that it concerns the evil that has haunted America from time to time in the form of crime, racial and religious bigotry, economic hardship, labor strife, and industrial pollution. And that the novel's setting is and that the novel's setting is a museum filled with the popular culture of the 1950s. I don't believe anything I know. We don't believe over here. It is annoying. Either you know you are God, you know God, or you know nothing. Okay? Okay. So, brand names, rock and roll songs and stars, the jokes and routines of childhood in that era of the 1950s museum. James Smith of The Guardian opined that Pennywise isn't the novel's biggest terror. The most prominent notions of fear in the novel come from the Losers Club themselves, then their home lives, the things that have made them pariahs. Okay. So, since it's already gotten dark, we got 30 minutes in. Okay, 3336. All right. So tomorrow we're gonna talk about the deadlights. Or matter of fact, I think I can get this in. It's no, I didn't finish it. So I'm gonna finish writing down the notes on the deadlights, and we will be back in class in the AM. Okay, guys, thanks again for watching. This again was story time with your sister ChayaFyah in the night. This is the Wilderness Chronicles, your spiritual ascension center. Talk to you guys later. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Love you. Peace.